This
to build an.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now let's go to the first, that introduction of ERP. So here you can see I have provided some information related to the ERP. ERP stands for like enterprise resource planning, and this we are using the software that we are using to build an application to run the day-to-day activities in the business. Like as you know, like inventory is the heart of the Dynamics 365 and also in the ERP. Here we are going to cover like accounting and finance and operations, procurement and project management, and supply chain operations. These are the modules that we are using in enterprise resource planning software to run the business. And also using this ERP, we can integrate with multiple systems. Like we have an outside CRM and a business events, and there are some third-party applications that we have. Using this ERP software, we can also export the data from our application, and also we can import the data from outside the system. This feature is introduced in the ERP. This is available. Okay, and not only within the organization, and also we can export the data outside the organization to the multiple sources. And here the business process and enable the flow of the data between the multiple entities. So when you're importing some, like at the time of importing the transaction, like some data that's required to run the business, since it is a duplicated, system will not allow in the ERP software. It will override the existing and it will delete the duplicate transaction from the system. And you can see here the key functions of the ERP platform that we are using: supply chain and finance and operations, inventory, planning, project, services, and HR. And also the customer relationship management, CRM, and the Salesforce. So these are the key functions to run the software, to run the business successfully to our organization. We have to use these kind of like these functions we have according to as per our requirement, as per the business uses. We can use any kind of like modules. Not exactly mandatory to use all the modules. We can choose the specific modules to run our business. Like as I told you, the inventory is the heart of the business, like because without inventory, you cannot run the business. Like inventory means, anyone? The stock that you have. In the business words, if you say, are you there, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. At least can one person can unmute, Jaydish or Mahesh, Priyanka, anyone.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sure, sure.
So first you need to understand, like when you're going to enter the ERP applications, the inventory is a mandatory. Without inventory, you cannot purchase, you cannot sell the product, and you cannot even do any action to run the business. Inventory nothing but the stock that you have. Okay, the
Yep.
warehouse sites where you're going to store the stock, that we are controlling in the inventory module. Now the planning and budgeting functional team, like before going to get the operations, the planning and budgeting team will be take care, and the product and services, HR. Now we're coming to the HR, human resource module that we have. Here we are going to maintain the complete employee information. Example, you are working in beverage factory, okay? So there you can see the payroll information, the joining date of the employee, probation date of the employee, complete employee information that we are going to store into the human resource module. Like, it's not only the employee information related to the performance management operations, that we have an option to build these kind of applications using this ERP software. Okay.
Yep.
Now, so this is the most important thing that you need to understand when you're working on ERP technologies. Microsoft Dynamics introduced the 5 products But currently in the market, which we are using Microsoft Dynamics AX and Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Now it is upgraded to D365 CRM and D365 Finance and Operations. Okay, so don't confuse. In the market, people used to call the D365 CRM.
Yeah.
They are also calling the same thing in D365 AX also. But here the difference is we need to understand, like earlier, the previous version, we have total 5 products to build the ERP software
Yeah.
using this 5 product as per our requirement. Example, to my organization, example, you can consider these beverage factories or steel factories or any manufacturing. Okay, as per the requirement, as per their functionality, what they are using for the production, they will go with the Navision or they will go with the CRM or they will go with Dynamics AX. So now coming to this point, that ERP technologies in the Microsoft, these are the 5 products that we are using to build an application. Okay, first one is the Microsoft Dynamic AX. Is it visible, right, guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft Dynamic AX and the Microsoft Dynamics Navision and the Dynamic Excel and GP and CRM.
Yeah.
So, but in the market currently, which we are using is Dynamic AX and CRM. Now, D365 is extended only for Dynamic CRM and Microsoft Dynamic AX, Finance and Operations. Okay, so
Okay.
don't confuse, like people used to call the Microsoft Dynamics. It is also D365 F&O. Okay, the old version name is Dynamic AX. So our topic, our product that we are going to discuss is Microsoft Dynamics AX. It's D365 F&O in latest version. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Voyan specifically mentioned that AX and D365, the name is changed after the version upgradation from 2017. And any features that going to be upgraded, it should be updated by the Microsoft since it's a Microsoft product. In the ERP family, in the Microsoft ERP software family, these are the products using to build an applications. To run the business successfully, any one product we have to pick. It's up to the business perspective, but as a technical, which product we are going to work on it, that's the main important thing. Like here, I'm going to show you related information on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Now, so our product is D365 Acceptor, correct?
Yes.
So, what is Dynamics AX? AX stands for the Acceptor. So, this Dynamic AX we are using only for the large base of the companies. Like example, if you manufacture any plastic material, so they can't even offer this product. Like the cost around more, right? Around 50 lakhs or more than 1 crore or 2 crores. So that's why I'm mentioning the large base scale of the companies will use Microsoft Dynamics 365. So here you can see the definition, like deep information about Dynamic AX is multiple language, multiple currencies, industry specific. And it's a global enterprise resource planning software product. Software product is D365, or we can also call Dynamics AX. So why we are using the multiple language, multiple currencies here is this not specific to the Indian country, okay, and also not specific to the Europe and German and Middle East. Globally, we can use the dynamics. When you're working on the Dynamic 365, we have some configurations in the system, which currency and which country that you are going to work at the time of configuring the ERP legal entity. We have to provide all the information over there. This functional team will take care. But coming to this dynamics definition part, multiple currencies, multiple languages means we can use these Dubai, and also we can use in Europe countries and Indian. The currency that we are using in Indian is rupees, or the Dubai dirhams. Okay, and if you go for the USA and other German countries, there we are using dollars, correct? But every countries, it's not specific to the specific country. We can use the different languages and different currencies. We have a currency conversion. Yes, sir, I have some product in the Dubai, but I want to do the business from the India. Is it possible? Yes, we can. We have a currency conversion option in the Microsoft Dynamics. That feature we have in the application. Okay. Like example, to manufacture something in India, you want to export to the Dubai. Okay, you have a retail options, retail stores in the Dubai. If you want to do some operations and business in the multiple countries, we can expose it. We can do this by using this ERP. We have an option. Okay, the currency conversion and language option we have. Accordingly, system will maintain the transaction in our dynamic application. Okay, and also you observe if you visit any retail stores like Lifestyles or Spencer's or any supermarkets, there also we are using like beauty products. We can find the beauty products. We are using the Dynamics 365 retail operations. We can purchase one product and there they are going to bill the POS operation. You know, right? POS operations, like when you purchase something in the beauty products or retail operations, we are running the D365.
Okay.
It's not exactly for the large base, but we can also be running the business for the store levels, like retail operations, retail shops where you have on the time of purchasing some product, and it will generate the invoice against the particular product which you choose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, step that we are going to discuss the difference between 2012 and D365. Okay. You just observe over here AX 2012 and D365. Since we are same application, but the difference is earlier in 2012 we are using the Windows. So if you want to implement something like client want to use this product, they has to install the dynamic applications. Example, if you want to use any Microsoft product like Microsoft MS Word, MS Office, you used to install this application, right? Since it's a
Yeah.
Windows application, correct?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Typing Master. So, but here, and now the best example I will give you, the Typing Master we can also install and also you can operate from the browser. The typing test example you
Uh,
can consider, correct?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, but the typing master, you need to install your own application. If you want to use the same application, you have to carry your laptop, like the same Windows, like RDB, you need to carry. You
Yes.
need to download the RDB, and from there you need to access the Microsoft Dynamic AX.
Okay.
If you want to create some transaction, you want to test, or you want to debug something, the technical perspective, you need to log into the particular RDB remote desktop, and then you need to perform an operations like
Okay.
development, like customizations. Coming to D365, Microsoft introduced in 2017 saying that we are not going to install any applications to run the D365. We can access from the browser. They are hosted in
Uh,
IIS, Internet
okay.
Information Services. If we have a proper authentications and URL, you can access your browser outside the system also.
Okay.
Okay, it's hosted in Internet IIS. Okay, now the coming the difference. 2012 we are using Windows application, but coming to D365, it's a web application globally and everywhere we can able to access using the authentications. Okay, and the second, coding being done in the Visual Studio means to build an application to apply some CRUD operation like CRUD, CRUD, create, read, update, delete, everything. If you want technical perspective, I'm talking. Earlier we are using the MorphX as a independent development environment. Okay, that is a Windows application. But in D365, if you have a Visual Studio, from there you can update your product and you can build your custom products using the Visual Studio tool. The coding where you are going to write in the Visual Studio. Now, VSTS is being used for the versioning. What is a VSTS? It's a Visual Studio Team Service.
Okay.
This is a DevOps creation, and these DevOps we are using to create the packages and to check in our product. Example, I got a requirement today, like saying that sales order, I need to add one more field, that order quantity or created by some exam, like any new field. So what I will do, I will create extension in the D365. This topic I will cover in the next. Okay, but I'm going to tell you the use of the VSTS. So I have done some changes in so and so object like sales table. So what I will do, I need to move this to UAT and production. If you done some changes in the development box, you need to move to UAT and production for the testing and release to the users, right? So during this process, how we will move? We need to check in our objects from the dev machine. How you will check in without VSTS? You cannot configuring without configuring the VSTS. You cannot even move your objects from dev to UAT for the testing and UAT to production. So during this process, VSTS tool we are using, and this is a developed by the DevOps, and using this DevOps we are creating the packages, and that package we are using in the LCS. Got it? But in 2012, how we are using the same object we are importing into the UAT environment, and same thing we are importing into the production. This manual import option is disabled in D365. So when you're going forward in the implementation, like next coming sessions, you will understand what is a VSTS, okay, tools and all. Now LCS tool. LCS is a tool that used to import and export or deploy the project from one environment to another environment. As I told you just now, like I am done with the development. So instead of using our example, I created one table. I need to move the same table to UAT for the testing and also after that production server. 2012 we are doing manual operations, but D365 restricted. Everything should be used by the help of LCS tool. This tool will help to import and export the projects. Using this VSTS, we are creating the package. So this package we have to use in the LCS tool. The latest changes contains in the package. The package will move to our latest customizations to UAT and production. So once it is moved to production, user will use our development. Okay. And Power BI can easily embed it in D365 with the simple setups and configuration. Yes. Using these D365 applications, we have a new features that if you want to generate the reports and visualizing the dashboards over data to build the dashboards or reports for the data visualization purpose, we are using the Power BI tool. This Power BI applications directly the few steps we need to follow to configure in D365. The setups, simple setups we need to configure. But 2012, it's very difficult to link our data to the Power BI. But here, with the help of few setups, we can configure it. This feature is available. And the fourth one is D365 viewed from the browser. And there is no client required to install the separately. Now it is hosted in IaaS. As I told you earlier, D365, it's a Dynamic 365 F&O. It's hosted in IaaS browser. If you have the proper authentications and that URL, directly you can access this application from the browser. No need to install any separate applications, Windows application. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. There is a major difference that you need to share if anyone asks you. Like the difference that you need to identify is 2012 we are using Windows applications, but D365 we are using directly we can access from the browser since it's hosted in iOS. Okay. Now, the most important thing that is data entities. These data entities are used in D365 to import the data and export the data into this D365 application or from D365 to outside the system. Example, here you can see the simple example. I have around 5,000 employees. Okay, the transaction that is earlier I was using the different functionalities and different software, but now I'm going to use D365 application for my company to run the business, like to maintain the employee related information and their payroll details. So the 5,000 employees, what user will do? They will not come to they're downloading the Excel, and they will not create manually using the finance and operations. So we have data entities concept. I will build the data entity. I will design the data entity from the backend. So what are the fields required? How many fields are required to import this Excel? I will build those tables and structure everything and create the data entity. So from the front end using the data management, this 5,000 employees we can import within the single operation. This is a new feature and it is very familiar to the functional and technical. Like bulk amount of transaction if you want to import, we can use data entities. So 5,000 employees, immediately it will import and store in our dynamic application database. So no need to create one-to-one record. And if you want to export the lakhs of transactions to the Excel or CSV, XML, you can choose at the time of exporting the data using these data entities. We can choose what type of format you want: XML, Notepad, or CSV, XLSS, or Word documents, everything. There are some options to export the data. You can choose the format type, dot extended type, then export your data. That feature is available in the D365, that is data entities. Okay. And the most important thing that you need to understand when you're working on D365, the technical perspective I'm talking, override has been stopped, and in case of any changes you want to apply in your customizations and standard objects, you have to use the extensions. Guys, technically you need to understand this concept. It's a more important thing. Example, standard, I have this Microsoft Dynamics standard already having some functionality. Sales order creation, update, delete, and purchase orders, and also we can run the reports, and we have a customers and vendors, correct? The finance and operations.
Yes.
If you want to apply some customization on the standard objects, like as I told you, sales order, I need to create one more field. It's already available, the functionality. If you want to apply some changes, what you need to do directly in 2012, we are going to the sales table and adding a new field, right click on the field list, add new field and create it. But what is that called? Overlay. So you are overriding the standard objects. But coming to D365, what Microsoft is saying, guys, don't use, you cannot change the standard objects because the overlaying is stopping. There is no more overlay objects. If you want to apply some changes in the standard objects, you need to create extension first, the particular object. Got it? So sales table, what I will do, I will create, right click on the table and create extension. Then you can apply your changes over there. So why can't you directly write your changes on the top of the standard? Because Microsoft stopped in D365. We are disturbing the product. Okay. Due to our customization, they think that damaging our standard product. And because of this, standard functionality is disturbing. So if you want to apply some changes, and this is also very easy to understand what is a customization and what is a standard. You need to create extension of the particular object, then you can apply your changes on top of the standard. Got it?
Yes.
Now, this is a major difference in technical perspective. A model needs to be mandatory to create and refer for the development. Yes, as I mentioned, extension. If you want to apply some changes or if you want to create a new table, new fields or forms, first you need to build model. Why model is required? If you are doing some changes or if you're customizing something, it should be specific model. You need to create one model. Inside the particular model only all the changes will be available. Okay, and new workspace to be created. D365. So first we need to create the new workspace, but in 2012 within the application directly we can apply our changes. But D365 we have to create new workspace, that is a development environment. You can mention dev environment. Dev environment. It's a dev box where you are going to implement, where you are going to develop our application. Got it? And the third thing, like final one, is hotfixes and update will be applied. So using this LCS, Microsoft today they introduced one new feature like on functionality they introduced. So how it will reflect in your application, the particular hotfix they will release from the LCS. We can find the update qualities for the particular environment and the version upgradation, everything will be done from the LCS only. Once if they released the dot fixes, we have to import in our environment. So the changes will be reflected over here. Okay. Example, the best example I'm going to show you. Copilot, you can see that the Copilot option is appearing. This Copilot option is appearing in our application, dynamic application. So this is released in 10.0.40. So earlier it was not there. If you install the dot fixes, the version will upgrade and the latest features that is introduced by the Microsoft will be also applicable to your application. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Now, the most important thing you need to understand the flow of what kind of architecture that we are using in D365. Like normally you can say single tier architecture also we have, like directly we can go to the database and fetch the data. If you open any SQL server, have you anyone worked on SQL?
No.
So if you are using that SQL, directly you can run the query on top of the SQL using that new query, and you
Yes.
can write select star from when table, select star from cast table. So what system will do? It will directly go to the SQL and fetch the data and display over there. Correct? So it means that it's a single tier architecture. So you are fetching the data directly from the database. There is no other. But coming to D365, we are using three-tier architecture. What is the meaning of three-tier architecture? The first tier, if you want to fetch the database from the data, the system should be triggered. It will go to the one tier. You need to request from the one tier, and the first tier will link with the second tier, and second tier will go and request to the third tier. So third tier will respond to the second tier, and second tier will respond to the first. This is the flow that you need to understand how the three-tier architecture will work. That's why first I given the example to the SQL. If you open SQL, directly you can write the query and fetch the database from the data from the databases. But in the D365, we are using three types. First one is a client, it's a first type. Second one is server is a second type, and third one is database is the third type. Okay, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It's not TIRE, TIER, TIER. Okay,
Yes.
so what is the first type? The client. So I am the client. Okay, just imagine. I will give you one example. Here I'm writing W3 schools example. So here what I'm doing, I'm typing W3 school. This is my user interface. So first I entered here and searched. So what system is does? What system does is it will go to this backend from the server. It will hit the database from the server and it will fetch related information over here. So during this process, three tier gets hit. First one is a user interface and second one is the server, third one is database. When I'm searching something over here, it's a user interface, correct? This is a
Yes.
user interface. I'm requesting into the server. So I'm
Yes.
typing from the user interface and requesting into the browser. So the
Yes.
request is server side. What
Mm.
server will do? Whatever the database that he have. So whatever I'm trying to search, it will go to the database and it will ask, it will request to the database, boss, so and so person, the user is requesting W3 schools. We need, if you have, you can respond. If you don't have, even also it will respond.
Yes.
Correct? The
Yes.
response will display to the user again.
Mm.
So during this process, how many types will trigger? One is the user interface, second one is the application object server, and third one is the database. I requested W3 services. When I click OK, it will go and fetch the complete information. You can see. Okay. Now I'm requesting SQL reference. When I click this is a user. If I click, it will trigger the AWS and go to the database and it will respond. This is happening within the fraction of seconds. So in D365 Finance and Operations also, in Microsoft Dynamics, we are using three-tier architecture. The Microsoft Dynamics AX client. Okay, this client will request something to the user. I want to generate a report. I click the report button. So what system will do? It will immediately go to the application object server. See, you can see the down arrow. It is requesting boss. The user is requesting reporting generation. So the particular report, what are the data is available. The business logic will execute into the application object server. When I click the button behind, I'm writing the piece of logic, particular record I need to generate a report and design will call and it will request to the database. Immediately AOS application, AOS will trigger to the database. So he is requesting something that we have or not. Yes, if we have, we can display. Otherwise, we'll show the blank data. Clear? Now he is responding. The database is responding to the application object server. And again, he will show the response into the front end. That is in portal, enterprise portal. Now you observe the same concept here, right? I requested and you go to the backend and he responded. This is called the three-tier architecture. Got it?
Yes.
The simple word we can say client server database. Client requesting. Client means user interface. The UI. Client requesting something to the browser. The browser will go and check with SQL. If we have a data, it will again respond to the server and the server will display to the client. Server will respond to the client and display over there. This is called three-tier
Client
architecture.
side. Yeah.
User interface, server,
Database.
database. Now, the most important thing as of now we discussed related to only the development environment. Once you done the development, these are the functionality, these are the steps we need to follow. But after done with the development, what action need to be done? You design something, okay, guys? But it
Yes.
should be move to production, then only it will help to the user to use, right? Otherwise, there is no use of your application. If as a user, as a client, if I'm using your changes as per my business requirement, if I use the changes in the user, then only our business will run successfully. So from development, you implemented something till production, how you will move your application, how you will build your product using this LCS. We are using this LCS tool in D365 to move our customization from development to production. Example, I'm going to show you development environment. I've done with development. Okay, during this development, I've finalized that it is working and tested successfully. So after tested, we need to move to UAT and UAT to live. Who will use in the live? Users, also called client. So if you want to move your application, the latest changes from move your changes from dev to live.
Life.
What tool we have to use? That is LCS,
Okay.
life cycle services.
Services.
So the development changes that you want to move to UAT and production for further operations, for further process, the Microsoft introduced a new tool is lifecycle services. Let's go to the definition first. Lifecycle services. Microsoft Dynamics is a collaborative portal that provides an environment and set of regular update services that can help you to manage the application. Okay, the life cycle of your implementation of the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation and Apps. The simple words I will tell you. If you done some application development in development box, okay, the latest changes. If you want to move this to UAT and production, between this operation we are using the LCS as a tool. Using this tool, we are moving our packages to UAT and production. And also, it's not only for the moving developments. It is also for the latest version upgradation, latest features that we Microsoft introduced. As I told you earlier, here you can see hotfixes and new workspace. These things we can achieve. These things we can done by using the LCS tool. Okay, tomorrow Microsoft introduced new feature, another forms or another functionality introduced. They release one hotfixes. You can find that from the LCS and we can import into our environment. Okay, this tool will help us. This is hosted in IAS. You can access this lifecycle from the browser. LCS Dynamics. This is Microsoft Dynamics LCS. If you have a particular authentications to this product, your product, like whoever having the subscription of the Microsoft license, they can access from here. Okay. Now, these are the tools that we are using in the LCS, the project and cloud hosted environment. The cloud hosted environment only we have the development boxes, asset library. This I will cover in the future sessions, like when we are going for the deployments and developments. And asset library, environment monitoring, support. Like you struck something, you are unable to crack, you are unable to fix a bug. Correct? So to whom we
Yes.
will reach? Your senior associate or manager or lead. Even if it is not resolved your issue, you need to raise a Microsoft ticket. How you will raise a Microsoft ticket? You need to access the Microsoft portal from this Microsoft Lifecycle Services. There we have an option called the support. From there you raise the Microsoft ticket. So they will coordinate with you and fix your issue. Whether it's causing with the hot fixes or causing with the standard, causing with your customization and LCS securities. Okay, now coming to this, these roles will be covered in the future. This topic will discuss into the LCS securities. Okay, Now coming to this, how to create environment using LCS. Like this environment creation, I will show you at the time of creating the module, like when we start the development. Okay, I will briefly explain you how to create, and we'll create one environment. From there, we will use it for the implementation. This is the structure. After creating the environment in the Visual Studio, we have this application object tree. What is this application object tree? It contains all the elements to build an Microsoft Dynamic application. Example, I want to design one table. So where you will find the table list? Under the application object tree, AOT we are calling application object tree. Inside the AOT, we have a tables, classes, forms, reports, workflows, all these things. Okay. Without these AOT elements, we are not going to build and we are not going to create at least one field. Okay. Now, the flow of implementation. How? As I told you earlier, in this element, just understand these are the elements. Inside the elements, we have an objects. Object means tables, classes, the form which I'm going to create. You can see the structure here. First is the object. Example, you consider sales table or customer table, customer form. And the group of the objects called element. It means under these classes is an element, the code is an element or user interface is an element. Under this we have a group of classes and group of forms. This you can see once you enter into the environment. And what is a model? Model is a group of elements. Like as I told you, if you want to build some customization, if you want to develop something, first in D365 we have to create a model. Model stores a model management. The topic whenever it comes, I will show you how to create a model. Okay. First we need to create a model, then we need to apply our customization within the model. Now, what is a package? Package is a group of models. So different models we can apply the customization. But whenever you're moving our changes from dev to UAT to live, we need to create one package using the VSTS. It's a DevOps. Okay, DevOps tool. Using this DevOps VSTS, we are creating the package. The package will create group of models. Our changes will be applied within the package. This package we have to create and move to UAT and production. This is the flow of implementation. And after implementation, these are the steps we need to follow to move our customization. Okay. Okay, guys, getting my point.
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell me if you have any questions related to the D365 and the products, the implementations, related to the various versions, the topic that we covered. You can ask me now.
Yeah, hi English. This is Jagdish.
Yeah, hi Jagdish. How are you?
Yeah. What is the major difference between in the D365 and CRM?
This D365, that like D365 CRM and D365 Finance and Operations that you are using.
Okay.
So
Uh,
CRM also we are using D365. Okay, and these two are the products. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, Dynamic AX and Finance and Operation, and also D365 CRM, Customer Relationship Management.
yes.
According to this business, like my business, the Dynamics, they will reach first with our senior associate and they will understand the requirement. I'm just telling the business flow, how we can choose
Mm,
the Microsoft Dynamic Acceptor and CRM. According to the business, what kind of modules that they are going to use in the CRM, and for the business, it will help, it will suit, they will decide it. But if you ask me, the coding to be done in the CRM is different, and in D365 F&O is different. Okay, functionality wise, if you can ask me something related, like in my functionality, like I'm using, like example, I'm using for the beverage or steel factories, they can go with the CRM and they can go with the Microsoft Dynamic Acceptor. As per the business
Okay.
requirement, they have to do it. It's not specific only D365 we have to use. As per the client requirement, they will choose which product is a better.
Okay.
Got it? But the both
Yeah.
is not a windowed application. Now it is in the cloud hosted. So this is also updated similar to the CRM and D365.
Okay. Compared to D365 CRM and D365 F&O, which one is the best one?
So if you ask me like that, I can say the Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operation is a better, because here you can see we have more total 26 modules. Okay, your business requirement is reaching the different module that also we can introduce in our product. We can build separate module. That feature we have in the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And the finance and operations we are using mostly for finance related businesses. Example, I'm using the production. You can see the glass factories and the beverage factories and aluminum factories. Production related information, production module we have in the Dynamics F&O.
Mm.
So I will suggest that the D365 F&O is a better for their business. They will use this application to run the business and to maintain the data on daily basis. So like that, we cannot compare like specifically. They will also choose in the functional wise. If you ask me the business perspective, budgeting and costing also they will look, right, like which is the less
Okay.
cost, which is a familiar to business. Even if it is less
Mm.
cost of the CRM, they can't go because the modules is not available in the CRM. They will go with the D365. Standard functionality is already available in D365 finance and operation. They will go with
But this one, CRM is the total technical part, correct?
functional also is available, right? If it is only technical, then who will sell the product?
No, no. In development wise, I'm asking. In technical perspective way.
It
But
is
we
similar if
have
you
to
ask me.
return but we have to return the logics or coding part. How much percentage is there in coding session? In the you have mentioned
That
the Visual Path
actually the
Studio is
topic
that.
that we are discussing is dynamics acceptor, right? So I'm not much aware of the CRM. If you can ask me the D365 financial operation related technical perspective, I can answer you
Yeah, in
because our
financial
product is
operations also I'm asking. Yeah, this one
sorry,
only I'm asking, not CRM. How much percentage is there in the coding session? You mentioned the Visual Path Studio. You can use it up the application, correct?
Visual Studio. Yeah,
Yeah. Coding level part is how much? But suppose I don't know coding. I don't have that much experience with into the coding parts and how we can learn it and how much time it will take. But previously we are working with some different models and different technologies. Now we move to the shift to from the Visual Studio code, correct? But we need to understand the some different languages and HTML and C
can I
sharp
tell
and
you the simple way,
uh,
Jagdish? Like
mm,
every software having the different environment, okay, and the coding also different.
okay,
Some companies they in ERP we are using X++ coding. It is similar to the C sharp and the SQL. Okay, if you know
okay,
the SQL, it will very easy to write a code in dynamic application. If you ask
okay.
me,
But
90% is similar to SQL only. The joins and the group by order by sum count everything. But coming to this, how much percentage of code that you have as per your requirement? Okay, if you have a different kind of requirement, you need to build some customizations. You have to write the piece of code if it is required. I can't say directly, yeah, 100% of code you need to build. With the design also, we can satisfy the client. Got it?
Okay.
As
I
per the
got it. Got
business.
it.
Got it?
Okay.
If we have a different kind of calculations in your business to run the payroll, you need to write the code. If you understand the business concept, everybody can write a code.
Okay.
Okay.
Mainly you are using it from the Power Apps or any other some other tools, Microsoft Power Apps.
In Dynamic 365, if you this collaborative platform, we have the Power Apps, Power BI, Power Platform, everything like Power Automation, Logic Apps, Power BI, Power Apps, and Azure Canvas, and also we can
Mm.
see Azure Synapse. These
Okay.
are integrated applications, integration
Mm.
tools with the dynamic application.
These
Okay.
kind of technologies you have covered in in the session, or only we have to
Actually, we
cover
are going
within
to
the.
discuss related to D365 Finance and Operations, not the Power Apps
Okay.
and Power BI, because the Power Apps and Power BI is a different applications, right? And that is different, and this is different. Only
Mhm.
why I showed you the Power BI and Power Apps, we can also link with the different applications using the ERP system. That is what I mentioned. Got it? If we have
Okay,
some
got
data
it.
in
Yeah.
Dynamics, how we can send this data to different applications, different software. Some software will not have the features to send a link multiple softwares within the same application.
Mm.
But ERP D365 Financial Operation, we have this feature that I'm going to show you. How we can link to the Power BI, what are the applications that we are going to use using this D365, those will be available. But we are not going to cover in the sessions. We are only discussing complete D365 from the end to end.
Okay.
Okay, as a technical, as a developer, what are the topics that we need to cover? Additionally, I'm going to explain you related to the workflows, integrations, and also data entities. Mostly we are not going to cover most of the people, like only the AOT structure they will explain and implement some few of the example. But in the visual path training sessions, we are going to explain you the workflows also. Workflows is a different, and we are going to cover the reports, workflows, and we will show you on integration, how we can integrate with the outside systems, how we can expose the data, how we can consume the data from the outside the systems. Got it?
Okay.
This is only advantage to take the training in Visualpath. This we are going to cover here.
Um, how is the marketing outside in from this one, D365, you know?
Actually, if we have anything related to that, we will talk separately, because if somebody having the questions on the product wise,
Okay, please.
you can
Yeah,
raise.
okay, you
The
can ask.
market wise
Okay.
and all as per this business, right? So it's not similar for each and every software. It is varying day by day.
Mm.
And any
Okay, okay.
doubts, Priyanka and Ravi? Ravi,
Uh, Sir, I have a question. What will be the timing for the class?
please again.
Sorry,
Repeat.
what will be the timing for the class?
Class session, same thing, like 7 to 8, 8:30. Like mostly we will cover 1 hour, but I'm going to take 1.5 hours, because it's not sufficient in the 1 hour to cover all the sessions. So
Yeah, so it will
if I
always
pick some
start.
topic, I will be
Sorry.
stand until it's complete. It's not depending on the time. Like till 8:30 also it will complete. In the last session we completed till 9 o'clock. It doesn't specific
That's
to the hour, but
yeah.
until I finish, like we can going to cover total 50 hours or 60 hours also.
Okay.
Because I my concept, like in the visual path, we are going to cover all the topics, and we are going to satisfy all the questions, and we will provide the complete end-to-end answer. Even we are going to support after the training. When you are going to
Okay.
practice something, we are going to support also.
Okay. And when are you planning to start the course? Like,
From tomorrow only, we have started from today demo, right? So
okay,
tomorrow
okay,
we are
okay,
going to pick this environment. So if
okay.
everybody is ready, then we can start the sessions from tomorrow only.
From tomorrow. Okay, okay,
Okay.
got it. Thank you,
So
chef.
the timing
Thank you, sir.
is, yeah, no problem. So the timing is 7 to 8, 8:30 until the topic that we are going to cover.
Yeah, 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 got it.
And Ravi? Monica, Mahesh, anyone?
Yeah, hi Venkatesh. This is
Yeah,
Mahesh.
man.
Venkatesh, what are the modules you are going to cover? Like here, like only finance or SCM? Like
Ravi, Mahesh, actually, it's a functional part, right? So, if you
yeah,
can
oh
see the technical perspective, if you ask me,
yeah.
it doesn't.
Like I'm just asking, like, is there any real time scenarios
You have any
regarding this module?
background functional experience that you have?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
that's why
currently,
you're
I'm
asking.
working Navision and
Yeah,
Business Central.
sure,
Like I
no
have
problem.
nearly 6 years of experience in Business Central also. So
Great.
just I am focusing on to upskill of my
Yeah, no
skills in
problem.
F&O
So,
also. So that
in the
is the reason
technical
it's looking up.
perspective, no need to worry about the module because in the backend, whenever it comes, table, methods, field, and creation, everything
Yeah.
is same for all the modules. Okay. But coming to
Yes.
the
Yes.
front end, the functional thing, no need to worry about from technical wise. When you're working on the real-time scenarios, you will understand the flow. Got it?
Yeah. Yes.
So I will pick all the tables from different modules, but the table structure is same,
Okay.
creating method is same, and hitting the debugger is same, and writing the piece of code is same. Technical perspective. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, Venkat. Yes, Venkat. Why
Okay.
I'm
But if
asking
you
here,
want to
like,
show me,
if I are going to any real time example for different modules, like,
no, if
or
you ask me the
or else
different
are
module
going to
wise,
cover only finance one.
no, it's not about the finance. In the real-time scenario, I will
Okay.
show you the modules. You can pick which module tables you want to apply some customization. The backend it is
Okay.
same. You need to create extension and apply the customization and write the piece of code, and we can check in the front end. The front end functionality is different. Like production, we have to do the RAF, picking list, product receipt, but coming to the sales order, post the packing slip
Okay.
and do the invoice. This is the functionality that you're asking. Okay, but the
Yeah.
backend code that you are going to write it is similar, right?
Yes.
Okay, anyone? If you're done, then we can close the session. And Kirti, Kirti will create the group and she will share you the complete details related to the tomorrow session. You can join from over there. If you have any doubts, you can check with the Visual Path team. Okay. Okay, guys. Have a nice day. We'll catch you tomorrow.